Good morning, everybody. This is Corey Olsen, the Tolkien Professor, joined as always by my friend Gryfflet, and who is staring moodily in the direction of the Black Gate, with the Towers of the Teeth silhouetted against the reddened sky of Mordor. Kind of dramatic, actually. Speaking of dramatic, my voice is also very dramatic this morning, as I am getting over a cold, and in having that deeply resonant experience. So, anyway, there we are. Okay. Yeah, you know, JJ, there could be a subrace of elves who become devotees of Círdan the Shipwright and decide to all grow beards. Yeah, no, why not? Why not? All right. Oh, this is actually better light for looking at this thing. So, where am I? I'm just next to Ondoher's Folly here. And we're about to invade it and such. However, my question from a distance when looking at this was this thing a Gondorian memorial of some sort, which had been repurposed by the enemy, as we see the enemy repurposing many things, such as the Towers of the Teeth? But from here, it definitely looks like not. That looks like a native Mordorian structure. All of the, bone trellises and things around there, that just means orcs are here. They do that, compulsively, so that doesn't prove anything itself. But it looks like the black stone, whatever that is, that they use to as their chief construction material. I guess there's a lot of, basalt and whatever to use in Mordor, it being relatively igneous and all that. Anyway, whatever. Sorry, I should be careful before I use up my store of geology words that I know how to use properly or semi-properly. But anyway, yeah, this looks Mordorian, native Mordorian. Okay, but let us go in. So what are we meant to do? It's the Fane. That's right, it's the Fane of Screaming. Love it. So we're killing a bunch of orcs here. We're freeing tortured captives here. That's it. That's all we're doing. So far, that's it. And still have not found a single sample of troll strife anywhere. Okay. Alright, so Gryfflet is moving in to the Fane of Screaming. Ondoher's Folly reeks still of blood and death, even after all these years. Okay. Ooh, a new banner. At least one I haven't noticed before. I know I'm supposed to kill orcs, but they'll be around. I doubt in the end I'm going to be suffering for them. Oh. So it's got the circular spiky motif, which reminds one of the Witch King material. What's in the background? Is that a serpent? I thought it was just black, but it's not just a black background. Is that an actual serpent motif behind it, or is it just running with the blood of its victims or something like that? And that detailing around the edge, that's entirely remarkable. Who made this banner? Not orcs. They would never do that kind of fine work. Be like, oh, let's do this complicated but distressingly asymmetrical border work in gilt thread on the edge of this banner. That is not how they would roll. Huh. Really interesting. That is such a complex banner, but I haven't had a good banner burning in some time. I assume that's what's oh, hang on. I should probably target it. Targeting the banner of the eye. Destroying it. What happened? Well, I'm being shot, I know, but that didn't seem to work or something. No whoosh of flame? It's a little disappointing. And why is it still glowing? As you enter Ondoher's Folly, you hear the familiar rustling of coarse cloth in the wind. The Orcs of Ondoher's Folly have erected many banners in tribute to the Dark Lord. Standing beneath this grim heraldry, you feel the eye of the enemy fixed upon you, and suddenly the weight of your cause at once feels burdensome. You think it wise to burn these banners you have discovered, so the Orcs might falter in their absence. Interesting. Oh, I see. I just needed to click that. And then I get a tiny little flame. Okay. Alright, it's growing. I didn't actually reach the banner, but it's fine. It's good. Okay. Okay. I agree. There are certainly some... Oh, and we're just hanging people? Come on, can't you even get skeleton cages? How did you not come equipped with skeleton cages? Did you send them all out in the field? That must be the problem. I don't know what's going on in here. There's defiled remains, the remains of prisoners already sacrificed. Oh, that's grim. Oh, it won't let me in here behind you. Hang on, let's go stand over by the archer. Can we stand over by the archer? Would you guys mind that terribly? Alright, let's do this. Okay, that's what we're looking for. Now let's start to kind of... well, like heal and stuff. Okay. There we go. Okay, anyway. I was hoping I could be able to get behind that guy, but there was in fact no room over there. Alright, it's doing it again where it makes me click on the thing. An acrid scent permeates the air as you explore Ondoher's Folly. The Orcs of Mordor have seemingly left the remains of their sacrifices strewn about the encampment to rot. A burial within the lands of the enemy seems an unlikely task, so you resolve to burn the dead before the Orcs can further dishonor them. Oh, man. Okay, so I'm burning banners. I'm burning remains. I'm defeating orcs, and I'm freeing tortured captives. Okay. There's not that much space in here. Okay. Oh. That guy's not doing me any harm. I ran away from the archer. That's a little odd. That guy over there hammering. What's he up to? Who's he? He's a torturer. Okay. Well. Reckon I could take care of that. He's pretty devoted to his work there. Didn't even really take any notice of me. Okay. I gotta be on the lookout for banners. Okay, there's one over there. Haven't found any captives. Let's just set fire to this. So the orcs here are all 105, right? Yeah, okay. Right, so I'm still 4 levels up, which is good. Ah, aha, a captive. Oh, man. Let's get rid of this torturer. Hey, dude. Alright, look. I'll take this orc. You get out of here, man. Do I have to escort him? No. Okay. He was there for quite some time, so. Alright. That was good. Oh, JF Travis, he was that other orc torturer was torturing like the battle buggy. Well, I guess, you know, if you're dedicated to your work, you just kind of do it as a hobby. You know, there's no... Look at the cages. Where is he? There he is. Other bowman. Alright, and now the Defiler. As I said, I wasn't really worried about not finding enough orcs to kill. Okay. When all you have are torture tools, every problem looks like a victim. Yeah, exactly. Hey. I got, like, seriously defiled there. Okay. Hey, well, there wasn't even anything here. I thought I saw a glowing thing from more remains to be. Well, that whole fight was pointless, I guess. No problem. Okay, there's another torturer. Stop whipping that guy. I feel like Sam. Hi. Hey, dude, be free. Quick, before they start shooting me. I've come for you, man. Here's a set of defiled remains. Ow. Who's shooting me? He's up on the platform? For real? Where is he? Darn it, get down here. You're just being annoying now. Okay. Now I still have those remains to burn, which it looks like I can burn without waking up the dude. That's fairly burglarious. Okay. Mornweed? Yeah, no, I'm good. Okay. All right. We'll keep going around, looking for more captives. Then I'll go upstairs. Tell you what, you're guaranteed to be annoying. I'll just take you out right now while you're on your lonesome. And okay. Oh. I got a torture, but he's hammering on the ground. And when they do that, they tend to be fairly oblivious. Oh well. Didn't pan out. I wanted to test how oblivious they actually are. Okay. How many remains is that? That's 4. Oh, look, it's a ranger catch. I'm not going to go hunting for him, but if I find him, I'll pick him up. Okay, there's a banner right here. We're still coming around the back side. Oh, what is that? Oh, a whole bunch of defiled remains. Okay, let's take one of these out. Oh, the other one didn't even notice that. I could have stealthed again. Excuse me, I have a bit of a cold today. No, it's you. I admire how your eyes glow red in the shadows. That's pretty cool, actually. Okay, and now here we've got another torturer. Hey there, dude. Yes, your suffering is over. Uh-oh. Who's that? An accursed warrior? That doesn't look good. Huh. Tell me about yourself, accursed warrior. As you explore Ondoher's Folly, an unusual sight drifts into view. In the distance, the shifting shade of a Gondorian warrior floats around the temple hill, seemingly beneath the notice of all nearby Orcs of Mordor. It is unclear if this shade is a cursed man of Gondor, or a fell spirit holding a form familiar to you, but something compels you to investigate. Mostly it was the quest ring. Oh, you stood still. Wonderful. Huh. How unusual. Do those look like wave crests and shells? Were you perhaps a Gondorian soldier in the time of the Ship Kings? I bet you were. You approach the shade and attempt to speak with him, but it does not respond. His gaze remains fixed directly ahead of him, and he almost seems unaware of your presence. Amid the sound of nearby orcs, the shade begins to shriek in a harsh tone. Father, I am sorry. Forgive me, I beg you. Brother, Artamir, do not stay silent. Father will hear your words. Just as swiftly, the shade falls silent again. Oh, man. His words still fresh in your memory, the shade floats silently before you. The shade wailed the name of Artamir, and spoke as if Artamir were his brother. Without pausing to consider the absurdity of what you are about to speak, you tell the shade that a man named Artamir is among your company in the ruins to the south. A puzzled expression washes over the shade's face, and his gaze swiftly shifts to meet your own. However, before speaking a word, he vanishes. Huh. That was unexpected. I expected him to be a more historical figure. I bet you he is, and that it's like the historical Artamir that he's named after. Well, that's cool. Alright, what do we have in here? We've got some remains. Okay. Where'd they go? Alright, still 3 more defiled remains. Man, this is gruesome. I must be getting back down around to the south. Yes, I am. Is this the first? That's the first banner, the first one I burned. Yep, there's the main gate. Okay. So let's go uphill now. Unless, we got several banners up here. Okay. Oh yeah, let's do this Defiler for sure. Okay. Okay, so that's 8 remains, and I still need, so I need 2 more remains and 3 more banners. Let's keep going around the periphery up here. We'll finish up on the inside. Oh, what's that? Ancient weapon? Start a new quest? Oh. It's a new deed. Relics of the Last Alliance. A whole, like, archaeology deed, huh? What's up with this here? Find relics of the Last Alliance. Oh, there are only 8 of them. It's an exploration deed, and there are only 8 of them. Well, maybe that'll pan out. Okay, there's another banner. Why are you talking about Saruman? I don't question why you're talking posthumously, because that's totally normal. Okay. That one's already been destroyed. I think we've got my last 2 right here. Yes, I do. Alright, we're closing in on things. Oops. Didn't see that guy. Alright, I might as well just take him because I'm gonna have to sooner or later anyhow. I certainly have got enough orcs by now, haven't I? Yes. This isn't going to be one of those things where I go through and destroy the boss and then go back to the camp and he sends me to destroy the boss again because he's like, it's in the second round. I hate that. Okay. Although burning the enemy's banners can do little to avenge the fallen at Ondoher's Folly, it serves to loosen the Dark Lord's grip on the lands beyond Mordor. By weakening the enemy's resolve, the Orcs of Mordor may pose less of a threat to the host of the West when the battle is finally joined. I don't know why I'm using my radio voice here. Posthumous Orc Speech could be a good band name. Sounds like a metal band, doesn't it? Alright. Let's now go to the center of the Fane of Screaming. Oh, yeah. It's a thoroughgoing Mordor construction all the way through, all right. I've got the 3 more victims up here, captives to set free. Let's see, how do I go about this? I think I'm gonna get this guy first, the Defiler. Ooh, especially if I can do that with nobody else noticing. Oh, look, at a set of remains. Conveniently located. Okay, okay. Well, that went better than expected. Okay. Run, dude. Man, this guy, this lash layer is really oblivious. He is focused on his work. It was a sorry fate that befell those slain at Ondoher's Folly, but no longer can the Orcs of Mordor defile and mock them in death. Okay. There's 2 more dudes? Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. And now to free the last victim and take out the oblivious lash layer dude. Okay, gotcha, man. Off you go. Okay. And that's it. Woohoo! Alright, let me go through the other way. Let's head back to Laeglaw. Oh, it's all it's all back to Tham Durlan. Right? No. Yes. Okay. Where's Anborn? I see nuisances at Numenórean. I'm supposed to return to Anborn, but I don't know where he is. Oh, he's down in Haerondir. Okay. Alright. I love being a burglar. Okay. We'll head back to Laeglaw here. In that particular ruin over there. To Mincham and Laeglaw. And Artamir. See if Artamir's met his new friend yet. He'll love it. Oh, is this the continued culling? I'm not going to redo the continued culling one. It's annoying that they have rings, though. Actually, it's really annoying that they have rings. I might have to kill one just to take the quest and get rid of it. In fact, why don't I just do that? It's already annoying me too much. The last thing I want is to risk missing a quest because I'm ignoring the quest rings because of that stupid thing. If every single animal in the landscape... Oh, it's a dragon. Alright, well, I'll avoid him. Nope, good on the roving threats, thanks. Okay. Okay, Laeglaw. Took care of things. You have done well, my friend. With this accomplished, the Orcs at Ondoher's Folly should no longer pose a threat to the host of the West or to any that still remain in their thrall. Let us hope it was enough. So, yeah, you just wanted me to kill him. You didn't have any other grander plans. Alright, Mincham. Let us hope we have freed the last of those held in the wastes, Gryfflet. I mourn for those we were too late to save, but I hold hope that the Dark Lord shall soon suffer the fate he deserves for these atrocities. I do not doubt the enemy still keeps many slaves beyond the Black Gate, but we must look to the battle ahead before we can aid them. Thank you, my friend. You're welcome. Okay, Artamir. Let's see if Artamir's had his little surprise yet. Hey, Artamir, did you meet your new friend? You say a spirit of some kind knew my name, Gryfflet? That he called out for an Artamir? I have had quite enough dealings with spirits for my liking, I'll have you know. There must be some mistake. You see, it is common in Gondor to honor our ancestors by bestowing their names upon our children, and even within Minas Tirith, I know no fewer than 2 others bearing my name. If I am recalling correctly, I even once told you of old King Ondoher's son named Artamir. No, that man cannot be me, my friend. How long has this spirit lingered in the wastes? How many have fallen since he met his own end? Artamir begins to trail off as a look of horror appears on his face. Do not move! Ah, here he comes. Here we go. The accursed warrior has appeared beside Artamir and stares intently at the lore master. The shade stares at you but remains silent. After a moment he turns to Artamir and begins to speak. Beware the shadows on Dol Achorn. The Wainriders come again to claim their vengeance on Gondor. Ondoher's son, that's what I was figuring. Wainriders? They have not been a threat to Gondor, much less seen at all for hundreds of years now. Perhaps this spirit has mistaken the Easterlings for their old ancestors, else I cannot say. To have silently watched for so long, it is possible he has lost his understanding of the passing peoples and creatures of these lands. Artamir's face still betrays his fear, but you sense a renewed resolve rising within him. Fate and chance drove me to the dead marshes, and now they have guided me thus. I shall resist them no longer. I may not be the man this spirit seeks, but his knowledge of these lands and our enemies may be turned to our benefit. I believe I know this spirit's identity, my friend, but more questions still linger, and answers seem unlikely unless he and I speak alone. As I said, I have many suspicions about the identity of this spirit, but those shall remain mine alone until I learn more of this spirit's purpose. If you and the Rangers would grant me leave, I shall follow where he leads and learn what I can of him and his fate in the wastes. Think what he may have seen. Such experiences are beyond the life of any mortal man. Talk to Mincham and see what he makes of this. I have heard tell he is no stranger to spirits of the dead. If he grants my request, I would ask that you, and you alone, follow us to the north after a short time. I shall speak well of you to him, and perhaps he shall be more willing to speak to you directly. That is my hope, Gryfflet, for safety seems so far away now, and I would much like to return to it. Okay, solo quest, huh? All right, Artamir. This'll be fun. Love the historical tie-in quests. What do you think, Mincham? Great idea, right? A spirit here in the ruins? I fear this shall not portend any good at all, and I would caution Artamir to put the safety of the host before his own misguided studies. It may be true that the spirits of the dead that followed Aragorn were honorable enough when they fulfilled their oaths, but do not forget that do not forget those we lost when they felt no such duty. If one has been cursed by the breaking of an oath, you should not assume them a friend. We of the Grey Company have learned this all too painfully. I shall not stop him, but I hope he considers the great risk he would impose on all of our company. Well, I don't know. Hi, Laeglaw. Yeah, no, don't even worry about it, man. You don't want to know. You're better off not knowing. They vanished. Oh, dear. Seek Artamir and the Cursed Warrior to the north of Tham Durlan. Okay. What is this yellow arrow up there? It's not a quest. It's like I have something selected, but I don't. It's odd. Not that host, JJ. Let's see. Okay. Well, they are easier to find with quest rings on the map. Huh. Also, when you can see him from a mile off because he's glowing bright blue and hovering above a hilltop. I had to follow where he led, Gryfflet. Steward Denethor would have commanded it if he still lived, and I cannot abandon his task now. I sensed that the Rangers would not wish me to go, so I sent you to hold their attention as I departed. I apologize for the deception, but you must understand the significance of the man we've encountered this day. As I suspected, he is none other than Faramir, son of Ondoher. How capricious of fate that I should find a Faramir here amid the wastes, when I so recently bid a farewell to Steward Denethor's son in the Houses of Healing. Artamir looks around with a sense of wonder, but soon meets your gaze again. Faramir, son of Ondoher, met a grim end here in the wastes, but perhaps more tragic. He was never meant to journey to these lands at all. King Ondoher and Faramir's brother, Artamir, rode to repel the forces of the Wainriders in the wastes, but they were caught unprepared and vastly outnumbered. They were soon aided by a company of Northmen, but even still, their forces were slain on the fields and driven into the dead marshes. Amid all this, Faramir was bidden to remain in Minas Anor when Minas Tirith was still called as such. But he defied his father's wishes and secretly rode to join the Northmen as they rode southward toward the battle. Thus Ondoher and his 2 sons met their ends in the wastes. As with so much of Gondor's history, there is much more to be said on these events, but I would prefer to tell it when we return to Minas Tirith. The air here has left my throat quite dry indeed. In the meantime, Faramir has told me much of what he has seen in recent days, and I must admit it gives me great concern for the host of the West. It took some great efforts on my part, but I have convinced Faramir to trust you with his burdens. You should speak to him and learn how we might aid both him and the host. Okay. Hey there, Faramir, son of Ondoher. In all the years I have wandered these lands, I have never learned of the true fate of my brother. When I awoke from what I learned to be my death, I saw a great force of Wainriders moving westward and then southward, and I could not follow them from these lands. Did my brother stand against them? Did he fall as I did? Search the lowlands to the west of this hill. If my brother fled the battlefield alive, he would have taken such a path. If not, perhaps he too has been cursed. Please do this for me, Gryfflet, and tell me if you discover any sign of him. I must learn the truth of his fate. You know what's even better than working against the armies of Sauron in order to assist the army of the West? Diverting from that job in order to do historical research. That's what. Yeah, Drowsnake, here's a guy who woke up dead. Okay, so what am I doing? I'm searching for signs of Artamir in the southern dead marshes. I must admit, my friend, I am still vexed by Faramir's insistence on the threat of Wainriders upon the battle plain. The Wainriders have not been a threat to the peoples of Gondor in over 1,000 years, and yet Faramir speaks of them as a foe with which we shall soon contend. The might of the Easterling clans has diminished much since their earlier, more unified days, and it seems unlikely to me that they have suddenly reforged a kinship that broke over many long years. He has asked to speak with you, and I do not doubt his words shall again concern the Wainriders. See what you make of his claims, Gryfflet. The Wainriders are dead and gone, but so too was Faramir, son of Ondoher. Alright. What's going on here, Faramir? If you are to survive long in these lands, burglar, you must first learn the history of the Wainriders, as I and my father once did. Okay. The hatred between Gondor and the Wainriders is a tale of fathers and sons. Our lands were stolen and reclaimed through the passing of the years, but the Wainriders shaped the line of kings in a way that no other foe could equal. After losing his own father to their hordes, King Calamechtar, father of my father, rode against the Wainriders in vengeance. With the help of the Northmen, he devastated their ranks, broke their wains and chariots, and slew them upon the hill to the east, a hill which came to be known as Dol Acharn. Such a victory brought peace to Gondor for many years, and Calamechtar never again had to contend with the Wainriders before his death. Peace, such as it is always short-lived. Calamechtar's son and my father, King Ondoher, was forced to meet them in battle. Alas, you are aware of the loss Gondor suffered as a result. Artamir here has told me much of the days that followed the king's death as well as my own. He tells me that the Wainriders made camp to the southwest, but were ambushed and slain to the last by a vast army under the command of a man named Eärnil. He claims that Eärnil soon became the king of Gondor, even in the face of the claim made by my sister's husband, King Arvedui of Arthedain. What tales he has told me of these new days. Ah, but now the past has risen to confront the present. Fate is a curious thing, Gryfflet, is it not? You see, the Wainriders have been stirred from their long rest, and I believe your host has riled the evils that lingered upon this plain. Even now they ride from the east, and their might is no less swift or terrible than it was in days past. You speak the impossible. Such things cannot be. They cannot, and yet they are, Artamir. These are times unlike any I have known. Okay, so, like the ghosts of the Wainriders? Oh, man. This cannot be. If the Wainriders again roam the battle plain, they may meet the host of the West on the field. Their hatreds will not have dulled with time, and they shall strike at those that bear the king's banner with a vengeance renewed. We must bring word to Haerondir, and soon. Okay, so I learned 1 out of 3 of his burdens. I guess I gotta go do some historical research down in the Dead Marshes before I'll hear the other two. Right, so Faramir there is particularly important because his death... Oh, hang on, what's going on here? Is that a brother lost? Is that just the... No. Watcher of the Wastes. Yeah, well, I'm not just walking away from his quest ring, am I? He didn't have one, right? Yeah, okay, I think it's... I've got to do his quests. Okay. Anyway, so yeah. So Faramir there. Faramir, son of Ondoher, is a really important figure in the history of Gondor. Because it was his fault. It was his sneaking out to join in the battle and then getting killed. He was the spare, right? Artamir, Ondoher was the king. Ondoher was the king. Artamir, his eldest son, was the heir. And then Faramir was the spare. And of course, he was assigned to do the spare's job, that is, stay home, right? Stay home and not get killed. In case something happens to both the king and his heir on the battlefield. But he didn't. He sneaked out and he joined the battle and was killed. And that's where the line of the kings began to fail. Now, it got kind of rescued at the last minute, essentially, because Eärnil, Eärnil, who saved the day, who ambushed by night on a night attack on their camp the victorious army of the Wainriders, as it says, and destroyed them. Oh, hang on. A lone boot print. What highly conclusive things can I glean from this? A footprint, but by its shape and size, it seems to have been made by an Uruk-hai. Okay. Well, never mind. Anyway, so Eärnil ambushed them, and so he won the day, and he was then acclaimed king. He was of the royal house, but he wasn't in line for, he was far down the line from the throne. An orc lies in the shallows of the marshes, but appears to have been dead for some time. Okay. But less than 1,000 years, it kind of looks like. So, okay, an Uruk-hai footprint, a long dead orc, anyway, of course, it was Eärnil, who then was the father of Eärnur, who went off to challenge the Witch King, and was the last king. Who is, of course, now, Gothmog and Mordorith and everybody else. Like the never-ending villain of many names. Oh, hang on. A suspicious bubbling? Is that what I'm looking for? The murky water of the dead marshes churns violently. Okay. Gross. But yeah, so the decline of the kingship to Eärnil and Eärnur, and then the at which point the kingship is finally lost, but really is the beginning of the end. And yes, Arvedui of the north was married to the sister, so there were the three kids of Ondoher, right? Artamir and Faramir, and the sister whose name I'm forgetting, who marries Arvedui in the north, who claims the kingship in Gondor after the death of all three of the menfolk, and that's when the debate begins, and the people of Gondor are like, no, we're going with Eärnil. And that's pretty much like the death knell of the kingly line. They did not choose the right path there. A bow of ranger make rests on the ground, and its wood is warped and swollen. I think we're in the marshes. Is it Firiel? That's possible. Tolkien loved that name. Okay. Well, let's head back. So, yes, so I love the way... I mean, obviously, this area, Dagorlad, not only, of course, is obviously famous for, being the place of the Battle of the Last Alliance, but, of course, was famous in these other moments in Gondorian history. And in particular, this one, again, it's really relevant. It's delightful how they're kind of bringing together the kind of the multi-generational trailing off of the kingship, right? The end of the old line of kings with the establishment of the new line of kings. Nope, I'm going up the wrong hill here. There we go. And of course, that the pivotal figure is named Faramir is just kind of fun. Okay, Faramir, what do you say? In all my time, I could not face the truth of my fate. Father and Artamir have found the peace they deserved in death, but I deserve no such comfort. Father laid his curse upon me, and I do not think ill of him for it. I failed him as a son and heir. Kinda true. And I shall remain alone and bound to this land far longer than it took me to realize my folly. Thank you for offering the truth to me, sorrowful as it may be. The fact that I didn't find your... Okay, it's all good. I'm glad you're satisfied. It is time you learned of the greatest insult dealt against me and my family. When my father fell on the hill above, his banner was paraded by the Wainriders and the Orcs as the rest of his company fell. Our foes chased them as they fled into the marshes. For many years I saw naught of my father's heraldry. Not long ago a man returned to the hill bearing the banner, but it had changed. Age had worn it thin, but what remained was perverted into something between the familiar and the horrid. With the banner unfurled, he called forth the first of the slaves the Orcs had captured in Ithilien, and one by one he tortured and beheaded them beneath my father's banner as the others watched. After all were slain, the bodies were defiled in such terrible ways, I cannot speak them. This man dishonors the memory of my father, Ondoher, and twists it to suit his own cruelty. His name is unknown to me, but the Orcs must know it well, for they avert their eyes in his presence. If you wish to aid me, learn what you can of this man and free the poor men that have fallen into his hands. The slaves and prisoners are drawn by cage wagons to the hill along a rough pathway to the east. Okay, so I'm supposed to sabotage wheels on Mordor cage wagons or free slaves from the cage wagons. Can I do both? Okay, so the imposter king. Alright. I see. Not on the hill, but on the approach to the hill. Oh, there's a wagon. How do I rescue people? I see how to destroy the wheels, but... Do I just kill the dude? Are you guys free now? How do I do it? The cartwheels are the only things I can target. Ah, Arafant. Arafant. You know, Arafant, A-R-A-P-H-A-N-T, Arafant. is a girl's name you just don't see often enough anymore. Okay, well, I guess I'll just spike the car. Or blow them up, alternatively. Ooh! Hey, Mr. Hauler. The Bloodletter wants the cages returned to bring more slaves. Borudagath, the Bloodletter, has the blood of the true men, not like these weak slaves. Borudagath. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Man, that troll was almost as stealthy as a Moomak. Yet there doesn't seem to be a mechanism for rescuing people. Hey, how about I have some food? Might as well, like, use my consumables, right? I'm good at that. Where'd he go? Oh, okay. Just the two jailers, huh? You'll make a fine sacrifice. Borudagath will find you. Okay. No troll this time, huh? And this time I'm taking out the aperture. Or at least. Yeah. Let's take out the head. Now we can go for this guy. Oh, man. Come on, I said stun him. I can't stun him? Why can't I stun this guy? Thank you. Seriously. It shouldn't be that hard. Can I throw sand in his eyes or something? It's fine. Okay. I love this Ondoher's Folly quest line. Okay, so tell me more about this army of undead Wainriders. I have a sinking, not a sinking feeling. I'm pretty hopeful that we're going to be able to divert it. Oh, wait, hang on. You're not the one who wants to talk to me. The orcs slaughtered them in their cages like beasts. How horrid. Our foe may be of Númenórean blood, but he is no man. Borúdagoth the Bloodletter. Who would hold such a title willingly? If he is the true master of Ondoher's Folly, the host of the West should remain vigilant. You slew so many at Ondoher's Folly, but still their numbers do not dwindle. And this Borúdagoth seems to hold sway over them all. Mincham learned from orcs and evil men that the enemy wishes us to come to the Black Gate safely, but how can such words be trusted now? Ruse or not, my friend, I believe only one course remains. A man of true Númenórean blood is to have survived so long in Mordor. This is unthinkable, Gryfflet. If he is responsible for the fates of those at Ondoher's Folly, he is also a danger to the host of the West. I still am not certain what to make of Faramir's claims about the Wainriders, but I would not dismiss them so carelessly. We must send word at once to the rangers at Haerondir, and ready ourselves for what may come. I have outstayed my welcome in these lands, I think. I have found my mind unsettled and my thoughts drawn to my own death. This is no place for one such as me, Gryfflet. Twice you have helped me to realize my own peril, and I hope I shall not have need of a third opportunity. As much as I desire to spend more time speaking with Faramir of his life, our duties are to the host of the West, and it is my duty to no longer impede them. All we have learned of the foes we now face, it goes beyond my knowledge and beyond my skill. Those we left behind at Haerondir, though, they could stand against them. Let us return there and tell them of what we have learned. I shall ride as swiftly as I am able, and I would ask that you do the same. Without your voice, I fear they shall not heed my warnings. Okay. Alright, Faramir. Nothing more to say. Not interested in Borúdagoth. What is it again? Borúdagoth. Something like that. Okay. So, yeah. Let's do it. See you there, Artamir. Beat you there. Hey, Anborn. I took care of some things. Good to hear that Blaeglaw and his followers are no longer a threat to the hosts of the West. Now we can focus on the road ahead. Oh yeah, Blaeglaw.
Be wary, my friends. Evil spoils these grounds.
One last chore remains in Haerondir before we send you out further into the wastes. We have supplies here that would be useful to the camp of the host, but they need to be gathered before we continue the march. There's armor and weapons to be gathered and water skins to be filled. Can I ask you to make a sweep of Haerondir and attend to this? I know it is a bit menial for such a skilled burglar, but we are woefully short-handed. Oh, please. When has any task been too menial for Gryfflet? If you feel shy about that, Anborn, then the Rangers of Ithilien are of a different mind than the Rangers of the North. Anybody seen a bucket? Yeah, I need a bucket. I think maybe it's downstairs. You have returned to us late, Gryfflet, and I am afraid you have much to answer for in the eyes of Captain Anborn. Artamir's errand may have endangered our entire cause, and for what? The chance to speak to a spirit? His foolishness may cost us more than time. You see, we returned to Haerondir after you departed and spoke to Anborn of your efforts to rescue Artamir from his delusions. He thought long on the matter and then chose his course. You must understand, my friend. Anborn sent an entire company to find you and Artamir on the battle plain. You have returned, but we have heard naught from them. You express regret at the effort put forth to ensure your return, but urge Laeglaw to understand that you have come with grave tidings about the foes lurking in Dagorlad and the coming battle with the Dark Lord at the Black Gate. I see, but Anborn has requested your presence at once upon your return, so I leave those matters to him. Oh, is he about to become a lot less apologetic about the bucket? He's going to now send me for twice as many buckets. My quest is going to change from pick up the empty bucket to like pick up 12 empty buckets. Gryfflet, I am glad you have returned to us, yet I must disagree with the course Artamir and you have taken. Such reckless actions could have led the enemy to Haerondir, or endangered the entire host, but they have not, and for that I am grateful. Do not mistake my concern for anger, my friend, but I would urge you to dissuade Artamir from any other adventures he might think to embark upon. Given the length of your absence, have you returned with any news of our foes? You inform Anborn of the design of the Black Númenórean, Dagath the Bloodletter, and warn him against possible encounters with more hostile fell spirits upon the battle plain. These are grim tidings, and they are made all the worse by the looming battle. I shall do what I can to prepare us should these evils come to Haerondir. As for you, my friend, I have a new task, one with which Artamir shall not be involved.
Let us hope you bring glad tidings, friend.
As Laeglaw told you, I sent 10 of my rangers to seek you and the Loremaster on the battle plain. They have not returned, and I would have you lead the search for them. They took the road eastward toward the Slag Hills, and were to move northward onto the battle plain to search for you and Artamir between the hills. I would suggest you begin your search upon the battle plain itself. Let us hope the enemy's forces have heeded their master's orders, and have not brought an ambush upon my men. When you find them, send them back to Haerondir by our safest paths. They will know the way. Alright, I'll do the bucket first, since we're here. Let's start with menial tasks, shall we? Okay, after I finish, I still have to go into Doomboha. Oh, hang on. Who's this? Rhadrog.
Faith alone will not stop the enemy.
Oh, darn it, come on! I hear Anborn is sending you to Nuiharn. Why didn't you speak up before I went to Nuiharn? Oh, you want a shrub from Nuiharn? We call it Huntreek. Eerie blue color. Fine. Huntreek. He wants a shrubbery. If only I could find a shrubber. Alright. Fill the bucket. Anybody need any water? I'm filling water skins. If that's one of the empty water skins, the bucket I am carrying must be about the size of a hogshead. Oh, hang on. You want me to go to Nuiharn too?
Be wary, my friend.
Is there a kind of shrubbery you want? I can speak only for myself. Who's this, Echil? But I am prepared for what may come when we reach the Black Gate. If my death awaits, I shall welcome it in the service of Gondor and of King Elessar. Even still, it is a weight to bear, and each man here bears it. I have seen much in these last days that I never imagined, and I am sure more still awaits beyond my sight. For all of these unknown joys or ills, I have not seen the elves in this company falter even once. Whether they fear or not as men do, they seem charmed. I wonder what eases them so in such times, and I wonder if it might offer some comfort to our company. Would you speak to them? What, Elladan and Elrohir? Oh, no, it's Legolas. Okay, yeah, sure. Meantime, I'm filling water skins. Okay. Don't think there are more water skins down here. I think I gotta go upstairs now. Aha. Look, Anborn's got one right here. I have to say, I'm not exactly following the ways in which, I mean, that Artamir could get himself killed seems obvious. I mean, sure. But how are Artamir's explorations bringing danger to the host? Like, what exactly harm is he going to do? I mean, I guess he could get captured and tortured and... What? Tell people they're attacking? They already know that. Okay, collect weapons and armor. Are those up here on the top floor? Well, okay. I mean, sure, soldiers were sent for him, putting soldiers into danger. But, like, whose fault was that? The fact that we now have to send a search party out for the search party suggests that the search party was a bad idea. I mean, that's on Anborn as far as I'm concerned. Okay. And is Legolas somewhere up here? I remember finding... There's Elladan and Elrohir down there. I thought that's whom I was going to be sent to find. Okay. I mean, here Artamir and I uncovered this clear and present threat from an army of the undead. Nobody cares. No one's interested. Alright, we're making some progress here. Oh, there's some upstairs too, is there? Okay. Got all the armor. Still short a few weapon racks. Where's Legolas hanging out? I don't remember seeing him here. I've forgotten. Maybe there are weapon racks down by the front door? Okay. There's one there. There's the penultimate weapon rack. And the last weapon rack is over there. Okay. Oh, there's Legolas. Found him. By the final weapon rack. There's Gimli standing on a box. You know, why are you insisting on looking over the high part? Just stand down here. Even you can see that. I know. Little movie reference. I get it. What is it, my friend? You tell Legolas of Echil's sense of wonder about the elves at Haerondir, and how he wishes that he and other of the men might be so at ease as well. Legolas chuckles to himself, and Gimli scoffs quietly beside him. Your ranger friend is perhaps too eager to think such things of the elves, isn't he, Gimli? It is not a lack of fear that drives me forth, but a sense of duty to Aragorn, and to our kin in the host. You and I have shared this long journey together, and fear has not yet broken us, even if it has lingered at every step of our adventures. These men are the bravest of this age, and I would not see them falter now. Victory can be won over the enemy, and none would know that better than the sons of Elrond. Why don't you speak to them? I wonder what they would make of Echil's talk of fearless elves. I was hoping this would bring me to Elladan and Elrohir. What troubles you, Gryfflet? You tell Elladan and Elrohir of Echil's hope that the elves in the host are without fear. Elladan stifles a laugh, but Elrohir is unable to hold back. Before Elladan is able to speak, Elrohir quickly interjects. I am sorry, my friend. Were that the truth, he would be the first to know. These men should not think so little of themselves. Elladan gestures to Elrohir to be silent and begins to speak. No, there is no hidden bravery within us, my friend. Perhaps we benefit from knowledge of the past, but in matters of the enemy, fear is ever present. The Ring-Bearer's quest is unlike any errand in the time of our father and the alliance of men and elves. You say these men are fearful, but they still march forth, knowing their doom. That is the truest bravery, and they must be made to see it. Gryfflet, my father's tales can do much to inspire hope and awe. Elrohir and I have heard them many times, and they are known to us now perhaps even more clearly than to our father after these long years. His tales are full of both glory and despair, but certain moments carry with them no sadness, even in the face of loss. He told us many tales of the battles during the last alliance, and while no moment can match the joyous defeat of the enemy at the end of the Second Age, there are others that might inspire those in times such as these. My mind is drawn to Father's tales of the Battle of Dagorlad. It was a great and terrible battle that raged for many long years, and even after victory was won, many more passed before the ring was cut from the Dark Lord's finger. Even still, it was a victory that marked a turning point in what to many seemed a hopeless war against Sauron. Men, dwarves, elves, and even the high elves stood fast against the enemy's forces, and though many were lost in the fighting, they pushed forth and threw down the Black Gate. It is a tale of victory against great odds, and it seems we march to a battle that shall be much the same. Brother, can you think of a greater tale to tell these men? Elrohir shakes his head and seems pleased with Elladan's choice. Gather the men of Haerondir, my friend, and let them hear of glory from us. Okay. Story time, people, story time. Now, these men don't care, apparently. I don't have to go back to the host, do I? No. Okay. Just not those ones. They don't care. Oh, here we go. These guys care. Hey there, men of Rohan. Come on. Story time. Hey there, dudes from Minas Tirith. Story time, come on. Let's see. Is there one downstairs? No way. Menial task. Yep, no problem. The Rangers are now prepared to join the host of the West in their march to the Black Gate. However, there is still plenty to be done in the wastes before that. Gladir and Mindal may have leads for you. Okay. Completed the quests of the No Man Lands? No, wait, that's not what I was looking for. Hang on. Okay, so I already done 14 quests. Okay, so I'm 1 out of 3 on the quests of the Wastes. So they broke it up into 3 groups. So now I've got quests of Dagorlad. Whoa, look at that. I'm already 13 out of 22 through there. And then what's No Man's Land, Dagorlad, and the Slag Hills. Okay. Alright, look at that. I'm halfway done. By quest. Hero of the No Man Lands. Oh, just because I filled your water skins? Hey, anybody down here want to hear a story? Oh, the archers want to hear a story. Come on, Rangers of Ithilien. Story time. Come on. You should come too, Echil. Okay. Haunt Reek. Really boils my biscuits. Have to go back to that place 3 separate times. You know, I just look for a little efficiency in my questing action, that's all. Okay. I've still got the Rangers of the Lost Patrol. Okay. Oh, yeah, using the stairs as a little amphitheater. I got you a great audience here, Elladan. You have done well, my friend. I see many have come to hear our father's tales, and we shall soon begin. Let us hope it can bring some comfort to these men before we make for the Black Gate. Gryfflet, I believe all who wish to hear the tale have arrived by now. I see men of Rohan, Gondor, and Ithilien gathered about, and still I can sense the unease in them. Elrohir and I shall do our best to ease it, but I cannot promise it shall be enough. Each of us shall be called to confront our fates soon enough, and it is likely some of us shall be more fortunate than others, but none should dwell on such things. As for the tale, it shall be a story of the battle of Dagorlad's final hours, and of my father's triumph over the servants of the Dark Lord. It is a lengthy tale, but my brother and I shall make sure the message of hope is not lost in its telling. Elrohir shall begin at your request, so when you believe everyone is ready, you should speak to him. Is everybody ready? Okay. I think you are. Okay, hit it, Elrohir. Oh, great! We got an instance.
Hoping to raise the spirits of the host of the West.
Yeah!
Elladan and Elrohir have offered to tell the tale of a great victory over the enemy at the end of the Second Age.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. You get to tell the story and I get to live it? Sweet! Okay, ghostly Elrohir the storyteller. Okay, Mr. Narrator. Hang on. Hold that thought. Ooh, right. Morannon War of the Last Alliance. Right on. Okay. Oh, this is cool. In an age long ended, a great battle was fought upon Dagorlad between the numberless armies of the Dark Lord and the last alliance of elves and men. For years they clashed upon the battle plain, and each momentary victory and defeat dimmed the hope of the war ever coming to an end. After many trying battles, the last alliance pressed southward and approached the Black Gate of Mordor. Yet, the nearer they drew to the Black Land, the more foes the Dark Lord sent forth. But lo, Elendil the Tall and High King Gil-galad of the Noldor possessed much wisdom and valor, and soon the plans were drawn for a final assault against the Black Gate. The last alliance assembled at a great bulwark, and it was there that they made their stand against Sauron and his armies.
Upon the battle plain, the lines of war were drawn.
Sure. Okay, I'm going to miss things if I don't move forward. I want to explore back up to the camp, though. Okay. Alright. Okay. Anarian's there. Isildur's there. Elendil and Gil-galad are standing out in front. Círdan. Thranduil. There you go. Holding. Oh, yeah. Wow. That's a really unorthodox spearhead. Aeglos. And Narsil. Love Elendil's shield. Really nice. Okay, so you're going to wait there for me, Elrohir, right? Okay, be right back. Where's Elrond? Okay, there's Anarian. There's a Isildur. Who's that over there? No, it's just a dude holding a torch. Okay, armies of Gondor looking good. I just wanted to, because I see on the map there's like a big old camp back here, and so I just wanted to see. Ooh, yeah. How far will it let me go back? Probably can't explain. Oh, this far. Okay. Okay, so one of the things I'm looking for is to see what geographical relationship the camp of the host there bears to the Slag Hills. But I think it's further back beyond them. I think the Slag Hills are more like here, actually. Okay. Okay. Where's Elrond? And of course the big question, I mean the question Tolkien doesn't answer, where's Galadriel? Orcs.
Easterlings,
go ahead.
Southrons, and evil beasts all stood in defiance of the last alliance of elves and men.
Spawn of Ungwitari, huh? Yeah. Well. Oh. Okay. Here we go. Where are we now? Oh, we're deeper in. Okay, we're moving through. What do we have here? We've got Thranduil here, right? That looks like Thranduil. Well, so does that, so I guess we're just elves. Okay. Right. Okay. Is this the Black Gate up ahead? Towers. Actually, because the Towers of the Teeth wouldn't have been built yet. Yeah, because the Towers of the Teeth are built by Gondor after this. So there's no teeth, there's just the Black Gate. Okay. So this is, what, a bulwark that Sauron has built in advance of the Black Gate? Victories over the Dark Lord's servants would not come easily for long. Although orcs and evil men fell in scores upon the battle plain, Sauron soon loosed his 9 great servants upon the last alliance. Once they were men, but twisted by the rings given them by the Dark Lord, they grew stretched and withered into unseen forms. As the corruption of the rings consumed them, these men grew beyond death itself. For in truth the Dark Lord held their rings, and thus tethered them to service and life unending. Even if they were struck down, they were not slain, merely banished for a time. Many names have been bestowed upon them by those who have beheld their terrible shapes. Dwymerlaik, Durhir, Gwytherein and Nazgul. In the tongue of Westron, their name is perhaps the most precise. Ringwraiths. Dwemer like.
At Sauron's
Lord of
command,
Carrion?
the 9 ringwraiths rushed forth from the Black Land to bolster his vast armies.
Yeah, I bet they did.
The 9 wielded fear itself against the last alliance, and all but the boldest quailed before them.
Who's that? Was that the Gloom of Nirn? It's the Cursed Rider. Okay, so there's Isildur and Anarion. We're gonna see Anarion's head crushed. Okay, they're okay. Where are we now? Oh, we're inside. Okay, we're getting close now. Okay, Anarion and Isildur doing rear guard action there. We've got Gil-galad and Elendil in the front. Who's this? Oh, just a dude. One of these captain dudes. Where's your dad? Oh, hang on. Look at this. We've got the Grim Southron, the Gloom of Nirn. There he is. And the Black Blade of Lebanon. Yeah, come on, bring it, Gloomy. Although many of their kin fled before the Ringwraiths, Gil-galad and Elendil did not falter. Gil-galad held close the mighty spear, Aeglos, and Elendil bore the blade Narsil, the very sword that was broken, reforged, and wielded anew by King Elessar. They fought as one and cut through the Dark Lord's forces with a fury unlike any the men or elves had ever witnessed. They soon stood before the Black Gate itself, but the battle would not be won so easily. Alas, the Ringwraiths and a vast army of Orcs had gathered beneath the dark ramparts of the Black Gate, and they sought to stand between the last alliance and their master.
Without fear, Gil-galad and Elendil the Tall raised spear and sword to defy them.
This is my favorite way to participate in instances. Just watching stories. Yeah. Oh, you forget it, Gloomy. You're fighting Elendil the Tall.
Even the 9 could not withstand Aeglos and Narsil.
That's right.
They were struck down, banished back to Mordor.
Oh, you got nothing. Oh, they forgot to close the gates.
Without their grim masters to drive them forth, the Orcs cast down their weapons and fled back through the gate. The Black Gate of Mordor was thrown down, and the last alliance pushed forth to confront the Dark Lord himself.
They really should have thought to close those. Oh, man. And so the Battle of Dagorlad drew to a close. The last alliance won a decisive victory over the Dark Lord and banished his mightiest servants back to the Black Land. The might of men and elves proved the greater that day, and let us hope it shall prove true once more. Although the fighting within Mordor lasted over 7 more years before Sauron himself was finally defeated, this battle turned the tide in a war that many thought unwinnable. Yet many victories and defeats still lay ahead.
But that is a tale of its own.
That's right. That will be a sequel in which you will participate during future instances. Good, but you guys want to maybe face your audience, though? I've told it as best I can, Gryfflet. I hope it is enough to give these men comfort before we confront the Dark Lord. I must admit I left out some of the more dreadful scenes that Father described in the battle and embellished a few details, but I believe the full account is best left for times of peace and reflection. These men need a tale of hope, so that is what I told. It shall be as it was. Elves and men shall stand together again. Let us hope victory can be won once more, and that the Ring of Power meets its final doom. What'd you guys think? Pretty awesome, right? Yeah, exactly. He left out his dad also. Okay, what time is it? Got 15 minutes. Okay. I got 15 minutes. I also still have to go to this other place. Doomboha. So I have a horrible suspicion that I'm going to be sent off back to the same places again after I go there, but... You know, I feel like I should do them in parallel rather than in series. But... Okay, let's see if... I think, looks like What's-His-Face doesn't have another quest ring for me. Nope. The guy who began that one isn't interested. Okay. All right, let's see. What can I most easily do? Yeah, that's the culling one. I know what I can do. I'm going to go back and get that stupid haunt weed thing. What is it called? Haunt reek? Yeah. Let's do that. Maybe Elrond was left out because it was, you know, it was all told implicitly from his point of view. I'll go back here and do the haunt reek. And then if I still have time, I will go look for that lost patrol. Ah, the well-worn path to this stupid orc camp. Okay. Haunt reek I'm looking for. Yes, Lotro places some hobbits at the Last Alliance. That is correct. Basically on the rationale that all, you know, of the free peoples participated. Oh man, I just got that other archer now. Alright, come on, we gotta get at least one of these archers. So annoying. Okay. Back to my ill-fated clump of haunt reek. How many of these fool things do I have to get? 10? Let's see if I can avoid killing the boss for the 3rd time. Okay. Oh, that one orc was in the proximity of 3 separate haunt reek sprigs, so I suppose that's worth something. I find great personal satisfaction in succeeding in picking something up or destroying something while being shot at. Just seems like a special kind of flex, you know what I mean? Okay. Alright, that's 8 haunt reeks. Am I not even stealthed? Good grief. What's wrong with me? My brain is asleep. Okay. One more. Just one more. Haha. Yes. Okay. Phew. Wait, I have to burn it in braziers? Where? Down at Haerondir, sure. Okay. Fine. I am so out of here. Let me head over towards Dolacharn. Still got 5 minutes. Okay. There's Ondoher's Folly, or the Fane of Screaming. Okay. Was hoping there wasn't a cliff on that far side. Or a roving threat that's about to catch me since I have a broken ankle. pacify? Okay. I think I'm safe. Alright. I don't entirely trust to my helmet of invisibility to save me from roving threats. Okay, and now we go off into new terrain I haven't been in. Ooh, we've got a fortress in the... So the Doloharn, that's where the Wainriders were camped. Alright, hang on a second. Just get rid of this. This is distracting me. And, okay, we're almost there. So now I'm just looking for lost. Oh dear. That's not good. Why did you send out a search party? He was under my protection. Marked with no wounds. Oh dear. That can't be good. Okay. Oh, a Wainrider ghost. Not great. Let's hope we meet some more of these, though. Oh, no, turn around. Wait, there's color on the horizon? I didn't notice that. Oh, you mean like the sun? Huh. You know, the Pall of Mordor is actually quite lovely in from certain angles. Marked with no wounds, and also summons no fell spirit of a Wainrider, which I was hoping for. Okay. I want to look at him more closely. The other one I fought from too far away. I mean, the camera was too far away. There he is. All right. Let's see. What do we have here? Oh, he's got the falcon shield. Right? Yeah, so you can see the falcon at the top and bottom with the spread wings. So he's clearly a ancestor of the Easterlings that we know. What's he got? That round disc. Would you hold still a minute? Hang on. Just stop stabbing me for it. Because there's a shield in the middle of it. No, it's like a... It looks like a collegiate crest. Okay, and your belt buckle is like a ginormous shield. Weird. I don't suppose you'll let me go behind you, will you? No, you just won't. Can I stand really close to you and tilt the camera around? Okay, that's good. Well... Yeah, I mean, your iconography is mostly sort of falcon-based, like the Easterlings that we know. It's been nocturnal ramblings here today. So this seems like really bright and cheerful sunlight I'm in right now. Okay, and he's got the scimitar. So they're plainly, you know, showing how the Easterlings of the host, the Easterlings we've been encountering ever since Rohan, are the direct descendants of the Wainriders, which is interesting. I mean, that's probable, but it's not, you know, guaranteed. that cloud of dust just like trailing invisibly across my path in front of me is not ominous at all. Okay. Search for the remaining rangers near Dol Acharn. Okay. Now that they've got a single quest ring, which leads me to suspect that they might not be dead. So let me see if I can find them, and then that would be a good stopping place. And then next time we'll do Dol Acharn. And then we'll return again. I've still got to do... What's it called? Dumboha. But... Oh, look. It's Faramir. Hey, Faramir. Spirit of Faramir floating near the foot of Dol Acharn. Hey, man. Tell you what. I'll save him for next time, because he's going to give me some new instructions, and I'm going to get a new quest, and it's time to go to Dol Acharn. So yeah, I won't talk to him yet. I'll just sign off, because we are exactly at time. Thanks, everybody. So I'm not going to be around next week. I'm traveling with... July is crazed. In fact, I'm only going to be able to do, I think, one Friday in all of July. So not this coming Friday, but the one after, whichever date that is. Like the 12th or something like that. Somewhere in that ballpark, 12th or 13th. That'll be the week that I can do, and then I'll be gone for the next 2 weeks after that. Yeah, the 12th. Great. Okay, so I'll be back on the 12th, and then after the 12th, I won't be back until, like, August 1st or something like that, unfortunately. I'll be missing 2 weeks after that, more family travel, and then I'm going to Comic-Con. So, anyway, I will be, but I'll be here in a fortnight. We will do Dol Acharn. We made good progress. We did all of Ondoher's Folly, a bunch of Haerondir quests. We're making some progress there. We're halfway through the Dagorlad quests in total. Next time, Dol Acharn, and we should be rounding up the Haerondir quests apart from Dumboha. So I'll see if I can do Dol Acharn and Dumboha both next time. Who knows? See what we can do, and then we'll head over towards the Slag Hills. So, cool. Making progress, moving ineluctably towards the battle at the Black Gate. Maybe we'll get into Mordor by the end of the summer. Maybe. Who knows? All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining me. Stay tuned for Druid's Fire, and I will see you guys in a fortnight. Bye now. Thanks for joining in on my rambles around Standing Stone's brilliant digital adaptation of Tolkien's world. If you enjoy these adventures, please consider supporting this and other entertaining educational programming by donating at signumuniversity.org/fund.